Hey, before we get started, I'm not going to be here for the rest of this week. I got things and stuff and things. So no shows tomorrow nor Friday. We will get back into it Monday. In the meantime, though,
this is Mac OS Ken.
Newness in the iPad line, an Apple Pencil fit for a Pro, and updates for sound and vision. It is Wednesday, the 8th of May, 2024. I'm Ken Ray, and this is news from Mac OS Ken, brought to you by yours truly and supported by people like you, patrons through Patreon. Find out more and add your support at patreon.com/MacOSCan. Let us run relatively quickly through Tuesday's Apple product announcements. We'll work from an Everything Apple Announce post from 9 to 5 Mac, along with Apple's own press releases and various articles from various sites. News around the new iPad Pro was crazy. Speaking as somebody who doesn't need one, I want one. Perhaps the biggest news for the line, Apple's new M4 processor. You heard me. For now, 9 to 5 Mac points out that gives the iPad lineup the most advanced chip Apple makes. Over on Mastodon, developer Steve Troughton-Smith pointed out that showing the M4 chip so early gives Apple a rare opportunity to show off high-end iOS 18 AI features at WWDC that might otherwise have relied on new SoCs in September's iPhones. Won't it be neat for Apple to not have to be cagey at WWDC? I mean, they probably still will be, but who knows? The 9 to 5 Mac piece says the iPad Pro has a new display that Apple is calling Ultra Retina XDR. While the catch-all post says the display is powered by OLED, it's actually powered by a couple. Apple said during its video event that one layer didn't drive the brightness they wanted, and so they layered two OLED displays, yielding what the company calls tandem OLED. Even with two layers, a piece from Apple Insider says the OLED path leads Apple to a device that is thinner than one with an LED display. How much thinner? Not only is it thinner than the last iPad Pro and thinner than the newest iPad Air, Apple says it is thinner than an iPod Nano, making this the thinnest device the company has ever made. The display also features a nano texture glass option, a first for Apple's tablets. Starting storage has stopped being silly. No, you cannot have a 128GB model. It starts at 256GB now, making stops at 512GB, 1TB, and 2TB. And, as had been rumored/hoped, the 12-megapixel ultra-wide front-facing camera has finally moved to the landscape position. The 11-inch iPad Pro starts at $999 for the Wi-Fi model, $1,199 for the Wi-Fi Plus Cellular. The 13-inch iPad Pro starts at $1,299 for Wi-Fi only, and $1,499 for Plus Cellular. Showing in silver and space black, the new iPad Pro is available to order now. It will ship and land in stores next Wednesday, the 15th of May. If iPad Pro is more Pro than you need, but you still think bigger is better, there is a better iPad Air for you. The 6th generation iPad Air now rocks a 13-inch option. It goes from an M1 processor to an M2. It also moves its 12-megapixel ultra-wide front-facing camera to the landscape position. And it ditches the lower-end memory. Gone is the 64GB option. The 6th Gen Air will come in 128GB, 256, 512, or 1TB storage capacities. Available in space gray, starlight, purple, and blue. The 11-inch iPad Air starts at $599 for Wi-Fi only, $749 with cellular. The 13-inch iPad Air kicks off at $799, $949 for the Wi-Fi Plus cellular model. They are all available to order now. They'll land in homes and on store shelves next Wednesday, the 15th of May. Talk of Apple Pencil Plus turned out to be true. Give it a squeeze, and it does something that's customizable depending on the app, according to 9to5Mac. A piece from Mac Rumors also highlights the device's gyroscope that lets users rotate the device for precise control of shaped pen and brush tools. It is also said by Mac Rumors to be the first of Apple's Styli supported by Find My. Now don't let the name fool you. While it is called Apple Pencil Pro, it will draw down on both the new iPad Pro and the 6th generation iPad Air. It is not compatible with any other iPad models, according to Mac Rumors, because it wouldn't be Apple Pencil if it wasn't confusing. Apple Pencil Pro will run buyers $129. Available to order now, you'll be squeezing and rolling Apple Pencil Pro next Wednesday, the 15th of May. Specifically for the M4 iPad Pro, Apple on Tuesday announced a new Magic Keyboard. Like everything else the company introduced, it is both thinner and lighter. The device now includes a function row for access to features like screen brightness and volume controls. The trackpad is bigger and includes haptic feedback, so the entire experience feels just like using a MacBook, according to Apple. Available in black with a space black aluminum palm rest or white with a silver aluminum palm rest. The 11-inch model will run buyers $299, while the 13-inch will run $349. Now, I indicated earlier that the Let Loose event made me want an iPad Pro. I think what it really made me want was to be a musician or a filmmaker. On the music side, Apple introduced Logic Pro for iPad 2. That has added to Logic's Drummer, bringing in a virtual bass player and a virtual keyboard player to create a group of session players. Cool as that sounds, the feature that really turned me on was Stem Splitter. Powered by AI and M-Series Apple Silicon, Apple says the feature can separate nearly any mixed audio recording into 4 distinct parts: drums, bass, vocals, and other instruments, right on the device. With these tracks separated, it's easy to apply effects, add new parts, or change the mix. I love working with stems, though they can be hard to get. This makes Logic Pro for iPad 2 kind of awesome, in my estimation. It and other new features will be making their way to the Mac as well. Apple Silicon Macs anyway. Both Logic Pro for Mac 11 and Logic Pro for iPad 2 will hit next Monday, the 13th of May. For the budding or seasoned filmmakers, Apple also announced Final Cut Pro for iPad 2. It delivers live multicam, a way for users to capture up to 4 different angles of a single scene. This they can do through the new Final Cut Camera app. Made for iPhone and iPad, 9to5Mac says it can either do the live multicam thing or serve as a standalone video capture utility for pros who need access to advanced manual controls. Apple says both of those will be out later this spring. Zero changes for iPad mini on Tuesday, though Apple CEO Tim Cook did give the device a shout-out toward the presentation's end. There was news for the 9th and 10th generation entry-level iPads, though. The 10th generation saw its starting price drop to $349, while the 9th generation model disappeared. Apple has discontinued that device, according to 9to5Mac. If you're not looking for anything like the latest hardware, though, Andy Anatko pointed out yesterday on MacBreak Weekly that Best Buy has cut the price on those by a tremendous amount. They've got the 64GB 9th Gen iPad priced to move at $250, down from $330. The 256GB model is now $400, down from $480. With new iPads due next week, new operating systems are bound to be on the way as well. To that end, Apple hit developers with new RCs on Tuesday. According to a few pieces from Mac Rumors, Apple seeded release candidates for iOS and iPadOS 17.5 to developers, along with release candidates for watchOS 10.5 and tvOS 17.5. The company also released a developer beta for visionOS 1.2, though not a release candidate. Meanwhile, there was no release of any kind for macOS 14.5, according to a piece from Apple Insider. While Apple subsidiary Beats has been less than subtle about a new Beats Pill speaker, giving them to celebrities to tote around from place to place, one of Tuesday's release candidates has either spoiled or confirmed the surprise. A piece from 9to5Mac says code in the iOS 17.5 release candidate confirms that the company is about to launch a new generation of the Beats Pill after discontinuing the Pill Plus in 2022. We'll wrap the day with two tales of the Phantom Zone, two new titles, that is, to check out on Apple TV Plus, both premiering today. First, for nonfiction, a 3-part documentary series called Hollywood Con Queen. Describing the series, Apple says a mysterious figure dubbed the Con Queen impersonates the industry's most powerful women, luring unsuspecting victims to Indonesia with the promise of a life-changing career opportunity. The Con Queen's marks exhaust their personal finances in pursuit of a big break, while being exploited in a perverse psychological game spanning the globe. All 3 episodes of that are up now on Apple TV+. And finally today, for something less salacious, more sci-fi, the Joel Edgerton, Jennifer Connelly drama Dark Matter starts its run on Apple TV+ today. Based on the novel of the same name, Apple says Dark Matter is a story about the road not taken. The series will follow Jason Dessen, a physicist, professor, and family man, who one night while walking home in the streets of Chicago is abducted into an alternate version of his life. Wonder quickly turns to nightmare when he tries to return to his reality amid the mind-bending landscapes of lives he could have lived. In this labyrinth of realities, he embarks on a harrowing journey to get back to his true family and save them from the most terrifying, unbeatable foe imaginable, himself. Apple bills it as a 9-part series. The first 2 episodes are available now on Apple TV+. I've said it before, and I will say it again. Not going to be here for the rest of the week, but don't you worry. We are back into Daily Apple News next Monday. In the meantime, though, macOS Can, brought to you by me and supported by people like you, patrons through Patreon. Find out more and add your support at patreon.com/macOSCan. Advertising handle by Backbeat Media. Online at backbeatmedia.com. You can reach me a couple of ways. Info at macoscan.com or call 716-780-4080. Until next time, that is news from macOS Ken. I'm Ken Ray.
Ciao.